Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome back to another episode of News Dose, where I give you all of the latest gaming news, and today has been a busy day for gaming. PlayStation announced their PlayStation Plus February lineup, and it might be the best lineup I've seen from them. It really is amazing this time, so we're going to talk about that. Also, Xbox Game Pass continues to rapidly grow with yet another major increase, and a heavily praised Nintendo Switch exclusive might be getting a sequel. Yeah, we got a lot to go over today, so let's get right into things, starting off with an Xbox Series exclusive, The Medium. If you've been following this channel for a while, you probably know I've been very excited about this game. It's reminiscent of old school horror games like Resident Evil and Silent Hills, or at least in terms of its fixed camera angle. Well, reviews have started to roll out, and it didn't exactly review as well as I hoped it would. It currently sits at a 72 overall score on Metacritic for the Xbox Series, while it has a 75 on the PC. After reading into the reviews though, my hype has really only went up, and that's because it offers exactly what I want from this game. It's generally agreed upon that the narrative is an absolute strong point for the medium with an intriguing story. It also seemingly has a memorable villain that stalks you in a cat-mouse-like game, much like you see in the Resident Evil franchise. Then it has an interesting world to explore, and it more focuses on psychological terror rather than jump scares. This is pretty much exactly what I want from a game like this, so that has me absolutely thrilled. I mean, it's coming to Xbox Game Pass, so I would recommend to try it out at the very least, and I could see this one becoming an early fan favorite for the Xbox Series. And from what I'm seeing, there are several outlets that loves this game. GameSpot, as an example, gave it a 9 out of 10. Who knows, you might fall into that category as well. I know I'm personally excited to play the medium, and I'll make sure to let all of you know what I think about it at some point down the line. Also, we got some new 007 details. Of course, not long ago, IO Interactive revealed their next game will be 007, and that's incredibly exciting. They've of course done a great job with the Hitman franchise, and Hitman 3 just launched last week. It's probably one of the best Xbox Series and PlayStation 5 games out right now. If anything though, it just further proves that IO Interactive is the perfect developer for a 007 game. If you grew up playing the James Bond games, you probably know 007 has had some amazing games in the past. I grew up playing games like GoldenEye for the Nintendo 64, and Nightfire was among my favorites for the Nintendo GameCube. I loved those games growing up, and that's why it's so cool to see it come back, especially knowing that IO Interactive is working on this game. They clearly know how to make a good secret agent game, but we're still years away from actually seeing what this game will be like. The good news though is that we did get a few new details. IO Interactive is ramping up the resources and are increasing the size of their studio to 400 employees to work on this game. Previously they were at 200 employees, so that is a major increase. This is a legit AAA game. It has also been confirmed that this will be a completely original James Bond. That means this is not based off any of the movies or any of the James Bond actors. They even said that this could end up turning into a trilogy. Yeah, it sounds like IO Interactive has been given complete freedom of control, which is very important. I've talked about this in the past, but this is why we're starting to see better games that are based off movie-related IP. Some developers are no longer being forced to recreate a movie, but instead are given freedom to use the character and how they want to make a brand new story. This does make for a better overall game, so that's great news. What's really interesting though is IO Interactive's pitch to the owner of the James Bond production company. Apparently, she swore that 007 would never appear in another video game again because games couldn't do the IP justice and was just violence for the sake of violence. Well, that meeting went very well, and I guess IO Interactive blew her away with their pitch. If that doesn't get you excited, I don't know what will. On paper, this game sounds awesome. Moving on, let's talk about Nintendo. We are going to talk about a new game in just a minute, but also, they revealed a new special edition console, and it looks pretty cool. Last month, they announced the Mario Nintendo Switch, and now they have officially announced a special edition Monster Hunter Rise Nintendo Switch. Now, I've been saying this for a while, but the Switch is going to have a huge year, in large part because of Monster Hunter Rise. Monster Hunter has dramatically become more popular worldwide since the release of Monster Hunter World, selling more than 18 million units. Yeah, Monster Hunter Rise is going to be absolutely massive, especially in Japan. In fact, the demo of Monster Hunter Rise broke the Nintendo eShop because so many people were trying to download it all at once, and Capcom has since increased their fiscal year projections because they expect Monster Hunter Rise to do even better than what they originally expected. So to get a limited edition Monster Hunter Switch console was a very smart move. I expect this thing to fly off shelves. Its design looks pretty nice, and as Nintendo did with the Mario console, they did a custom design for the tablet itself along with the Joy-Cons and dock. Unfortunately though, so far only a Europe and Japan version has been announced. As of this moment, the rest of the world is simply out of luck. This also goes for the new Monster Hunter Switch Pro controller. I believe that's only a Japanese thing right now, but I think it's possible that we could see it release elsewhere in time. We'll have to wait and see on that. Now, that's not the only Nintendo news today, as there are some rumors floating around that Nintendo might be partnering up with Ubisoft to make a sequel to one of Mario's best spin-offs ever made. That's right, a new Mario plus Rabbids could be in development. The reason this is suddenly making the rounds is because the official Rabbids Twitter account changed their name to Mario Rabbids, and also their new profile picture is Mario Rabbid. That is an interesting change for their brand, and could this mean that Nintendo is set to reveal a sequel soon? It would be odd to just out of nowhere rebrand your Twitter account if there wasn't some kind of plan to capitalize on that. It could be nothing, but I could see it happening, and I'll tell you why. This is actually not the first time that a rumor like this has popped up for a new Mario and Rabbids. I actually covered this early last year. Yes, last year Ubisoft Milan posted a job listing for a 3D animator that would give life to beloved characters for a quote-unquote prestigious AAA title. Ubisoft Milan is the studio behind Mario and Rabbids, and that job listing does sound like that they could have been working on some kind of sequel for Mario and Rabbids. I mean, I know they've worked on other games in the past, but the Mario franchise in specific fits the bill for beloved characters. Now, nothing is confirmed just yet, but it does seem like that they could be working on a sequel, and that would be amazing. Based on that job listing last year, they may have been working on this game for quite a while. Nonetheless, this is a very underappreciated game. If you haven't played it yet, do yourself a favor and go check it out. It is among the best Mario spin-offs to date. However, if you have played it, let's hope a sequel actually does happen. In other news, PlayStation revealed the February PlayStation Plus lineup, and this might be their best lineup yet. I am highly impressed by what PlayStation has done with PlayStation Plus in recent months, and it really shows here. So in February, if you're subscribed to PlayStation Plus, you will have access to Control Ultimate Edition, Destruction All-Stars, and Concrete Genie. This is an absolutely amazing lineup. So right away you get Destruction All-Stars, which is a day one AAA launch title. It looks very similar to the Twisted Metal franchise with its own unique twist. I know a lot of PlayStation fans probably missed the Twisted Metal franchise, so this could be a good replacement. And I mean, this is a $70 game, so if you're subscribed to PlayStation Plus, that pretty much pays off your subscription right there. Then you also have Control Ultimate Edition, which is set to release on February 2nd. There's been a lot of controversy about the Ultimate Edition and how you couldn't upgrade the last generation version for free, but here it is. You can now get the PS5 version of Control, which includes ray tracing and all of the previous expansions released to this point. I know some fans felt a little burned by 505 games, but those who refused to buy Control yet again will now have access to it through PlayStation Plus. This is a really good game too, and I can't express that enough. I believe it's one of the best single-player experiences from last generation, and I'm excited to see how it runs on the PS5. I wasn't going to get it before, but now that it's coming to PlayStation Plus, I'm definitely going to try it out. Last but not least though is Concrete Genie, which is one of the better hidden gems on the PlayStation 4. Okay, so PlayStation is often celebrated for their first-party studios. It's no secret that they do a great job with their first-party games, but Concrete Genie slipped through the cracks. This one is developed by their first-party studio, Pixel Opus. This isn't one of their big cinematic experiences, but rather, it's a little bit more artistic and creative. I like that Sony develops these type of games, and I hope they continue to make games like this, but now that it's coming to PlayStation Plus, a lot more people can enjoy this game. Again, this is a great month for PlayStation Plus subscribers, and I just want to applaud Sony for this. They've been knocking it out of the park with PlayStation Plus pretty much as soon as the PlayStation 5 launched. I really hope this continues because it's becoming a must-have service by this point. If anything, it's definitely going to keep me as a subscriber for another year, so PlayStation did a good job here. Now, we also need to talk about Xbox Game Pass today because they have once again posted a major increase in subscribers. Yesterday, Microsoft revealed their Q2 earnings, and with that, Xbox saw a huge increase in revenue. Hardware increased by 86% driven by the Xbox Series. Games overall grew by 51%, with Xbox content and services growing another 40%. Yeah, Xbox had a great quarter, and it really could have been even better if the Xbox Series was more readily available. Unfortunately, it still continues to sell out, but that should improve over the next couple months. Xbox reported last year that around, I believe it was May, they expect initial demand to be met. So stock should continue to improve over the coming months. The interesting part to me, though, was Xbox Game Pass, as it gained another 3 million subscribers since we last heard about it. That brings the Xbox Game Pass subscriber count to 18 million. It is rapidly growing. It was back in September when we heard 15 million subscribers, and Brad Sams pointed this out over on Twitter, but he noted that Xbox has been adding 1 million subscribers a month since May of 2020. That is ridiculous, and it goes to show you that Xbox is onto something here. They will have 20 million subscribers in just a few months at this rate, and possibly 30 million by the end of this year. I'm not saying that will happen, but it is possible if they continue to go in the trajectory that they're going. Either way, it's such a good service, and I do think it's well deserved. It allows people to play all kinds of great games at an affordable price, so big congrats to Xbox on their success. On to our final topic of the day, though. We're actually doing something just a bit different. Somebody mentioned to me in the comments yesterday that I can do polls on YouTube. I didn't even know you could do that, but I am going to start doing a poll of the day section, and then we'll talk briefly about it in a video. I think this will be a lot of fun and a good way to interact with the community. So today's poll was, should Xbox and Nintendo partner together to bring Xbox Game Pass to the Nintendo Switch? And 56% of you says yes, Xbox Game Pass on the Switch would be awesome. Reading into the comments, it seems like most people would like to see this, though several of you did mention that if this were to happen, you would like to see Nintendo games on Xbox. And okay, that is a good point. I, however, do think that there could be benefits for both sides, but then there are also some negatives as well. The Switch would get access to a lot of new games, and in a way, they would get their big reunion with Rare's games. That would be pretty cool to see, and it could help Xbox out by giving them access to a lot more subscribers, and in return, they could invest more into their first-party studios. Of course, there's also problems with this move as well, and really has negatives for both sides. As an example, Nintendo could strongly be against this because it would interfere with their own Nintendo eShop. Fans could end up playing several third-party games on Xbox Game Pass rather than playing them on the eShop, and Nintendo probably wouldn't like that. It's fun to think about though, and make sure to let me know your thoughts on a partnership like this. Also, make sure to check out the new poll tonight when I post it. Anyways though, that's it for this episode, but if you liked the video, don't forget the bell notification and subscribe button for more content just like this. Also, if you'd like to support the channel through Patreon, thank you for making this content possible. Peace out.